Imagine a machine that doesn't just move you from place to place, but jolts every sense at once. Your eyes catch the glint of its sculpted body. Your ears register a low, futuristic hum that quickly sharpens into an unrelenting roar. Your chest feels the surge of G-forces pressing you deeper into the seat, and your mind scrambles to reconcile the reality of acceleration with the memory of what cars used to be. This isn't simply transportation, it's a declaration of possibility. A gamble on engineering that aims to leave tradition behind and rewrite what performance means in the electric era. Questions hang in the air. Is this ambition sustainable? Can the new wave truly rival the legends? And what does it signal for the future of speed, style, and status? Every curve of its chassis and every flick of its suspension suggests not only a vehicle but a cultural statement. When something like this emerges, it demands attention, respect, and scrutiny, so settle in, because the story we're about to unfold pulls back the curtain on one of the boldest moves in modern performance history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which machine you want covered next. The Yangwang U9 2024 enters our story like a thunderclap. A supercar that redefines expectations not only for its home market, but also for the global stage. It's not just another sleek shape with electric motors hidden underneath. It's a carefully crafted signal that China is no longer content with building entry-level EVs, instead reaching for the crown jewels of performance and prestige. So how did the Yangwang U9 2024 come to exist? And what does it reveal about the mindset of the engineers and strategists who shaped it? Let's peel back the layers. Microstory: the unveiling of the Yangwang U9 2024 was staged with the drama of a global premiere, a gleaming orange machine rolling onto a platform under spotlights, not only showcasing numbers on a spec sheet, but a cultural ambition to shock audiences from Los Angeles to London. Attendees weren't just watching a car, they were witnessing an audacious pivot, where a nation known for mass mobility announced it could build something meant to trade punches with the icons of speed. Context Digest: electric supercars have been bubbling in the margins of the industry for years, but few have broken through with a presence that could rival traditional high-performance names. The Yangwang U9 2024 instantly positioned itself as different, combining outrageous acceleration with unusual tricks like a suspension system that can make the car hop or dance, a deliberate move to separate itself from the stiffer, more conventional silhouettes already competing for attention. Microstory: before the Yangwang U9 2024, Chinese automakers had already been ramping up battery innovation and cost control. But the decision to channel those advancements into a supercar was strategic. The goal wasn't volume sales, it was perception. A chance to build a halo product that would lift the reputation of every vehicle under the parent company's umbrella. The U9 became both a laboratory and a billboard. Reflection bridge: it's important to understand that while this supercar is eye-catching, it wasn't born in a vacuum, it was the result of calculated industry shifts. Context Digest: battery chemistry and motor control software are the backbone of EV development, and the Yangwang U9 2024 reflects years of quiet groundwork, taking dense, energy-efficient cells and coupling them with torquey vectoring systems capable of splitting and delivering power with millisecond precision. This isn't just about straight-line blasts. It's about control in corners, redefining how a driver feels bonded with the road. Microstory: imagine stepping inside the Yangwang U9 2024 and noticing how even the cabin speaks to dual ambitions. Luxury and audacity, stitched leather meets neon accents. Touchscreens dominate the driver's field of interaction. And yet, the design isn't sterile. It's a theater for the senses, meant to remind anyone who grips the wheel that they're piloting not just a car, but an emblem of technological pride. Context Digest: for buyers in Western markets, the Yangwang U9 2024 presents an unfamiliar proposition, paying six figures for a machine with heritage measured in years rather than decades. It raises questions about brand trust, resale value, and emotional attachment, issues that traditional makers rely on to justify their pricing. Yet this challenge is exactly what makes the story compelling. The car forces us to re-examine the weight we give to legacy. Microstory: testing footage of the Yangwang U9 2024 quickly spread online, not only highlighting its explosive performance, but also the bizarre spectacle of the suspension system hopping like a lowrider, a playful yet technically Impressive stunt that instantly became a viral talking point. Whether viewers laughed, mocked, or marveled, they remembered the name, and that was precisely the point of the demonstration: reflection bridge. By this point, the U9 had achieved something many concept cars failed to do: spark a global conversation. Context digest. Price is another critical element in the Yangwang U9 2024 story. While European and American supercars often sit far north of $200,000, this machine came in at around $150,000, a positioning that doesn't scream cheap but suggests a different calculus. Offer hypercar thrills at a cost just within reach of the ambitious few who might otherwise look elsewhere. Microstory. In design studios, the Yangwang U9 2024 underwent countless iterations, sculptors balancing aerodynamic necessity with a desire to create an instantly recognizable silhouette. Every vent, crease, and spoiler was more than decoration. It was a coded message to enthusiasts that the car wasn't derivative. It had its own identity, one that could stand in photos alongside rivals without shame. Microstory. Consider the marketing strategy. Instead of emphasizing heritage, the Yangwang U9 2024 leaned into novelty, performance data, and theatrics. This was a bet that younger, digitally native buyers cared more about what a car could do right now than stories about past victories, a bold repositioning of what supercar credibility could mean. Microstory. The reception wasn't universally glowing, of course. Skeptics pointed out that raw speed and tricks didn't guarantee durability, driving feel, or after-sales support, yet even the critiques were evidence that the Yangwang U9 2024 had forced its way into a conversation many assumed was closed off to newcomers. Context digest. Ownership reality is the final layer worth examining. Buyers of the Yangwang U9 2024 aren't just investing in a car, they're betting on service networks, spare part availability, and long-term value retention. Every purchase is as much about faith in infrastructure as it is about the thrill of speed, which adds tension to the decision. The Yangwang U9 2024 therefore serves as both an artifact of its time and a bellwether of what's to come, which naturally raises a deeper question about how this machine fits into the evolving supercar landscape. Let's turn to that next. The Yangwang U9 2024 continues to draw attention because it doesn't just exist as a singular product. It's a symbol of shifting balance in the automotive world. Here is a car meant to challenge decades of European dominance and carve out new ground, blending electric power with cultural ambition. What matters now is not only its specs, but how it reframes the stakes for performance, ownership, and prestige. Microstory. In road tests, the Yangwang U9 2024 proved its numbers weren't empty marketing. Acceleration from 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds placed it in rare company. But the more telling story came from handling. The quad-motor torque vectoring allowed cornering behavior that stunned even experienced drivers, who described it as eerie, like the car anticipated their inputs before they made them. Context digest. Such precision comes from software dominance as much as mechanical design. Algorithms decide how each motor delivers power. And in the Yangwang U9 2024, those decisions happen faster than human reflexes, underscoring the broader reality that the future of performance may be less about horsepower figures and more about code. Microstory. Consider the ripple effect. As the Yangwang U9 2024 headlines conversations, rival manufacturers find themselves pressed to accelerate their own electric supercar timelines. It's not only about one model, it's about setting a bar that competitors must now leap over, proving that the center of gravity and innovation may be shifting eastward. Reflection bridge. What was once an experiment now feels like a marker placed firmly in the sand. Context digest. The Yangwang U9 2024 also sparks debates about authenticity. Can a supercar built without decades of racing heritage truly command respect? Or does respect now flow from bold execution rather than nostalgia? This question divides enthusiasts, but it ensures the car is rarely ignored. Microstory. Behind closed doors, engineers who built the Yangwang U9 2024 reportedly approached it as both a technical showcase and a morale booster, proof that their domestic industry could stand tall on a global stage. The pride embedded in this car is as critical to its story as the numbers printed in press releases. Microstory. For buyers, the Yangwang U9 2024 represents not just a purchase but a statement. Daring to own something new. Unproven and potentially game-changing, it becomes a badge of contrarian identity. A declaration that you are not bound by the past, but willing to gamble on the future. Context digest. Global perception is evolving quickly. A decade ago, the idea of a Chinese supercar being taken seriously might have sparked disbelief. But the Yangwang U9 2024 forces journalists, enthusiasts, and even skeptical collectors to reassess. Its existence alone demonstrates how fast industrial reputations can pivot in the electric age. Reflection bridge. What makes the U9 remarkable isn't just the product, it's the shift it represents in who gets to define performance. Microstory. Driving footage of the Yangwang U9 2024 circulating online captures more than speed runs. It shows stability at outrageous velocities, aerodynamic composure, and the unmistakable sensation of a machine engineered for both theater and control. Viewers see not just acceleration, but poise, an attempt to balance spectacle with credibility. Microstory. Even small details reveal ambition. The Yangwang U9 2024 integrates advanced thermal management to prevent battery fade under track conditions. A critical point often overlooked in early EV sports models. This is not a car built for showroom glory alone. It's designed to withstand sustained punishment, a crucial requirement for respect among enthusiasts. Context digest. Yet questions linger. Will after-sales service keep pace with demand? Will long-term durability match the claims? Will the brand build the kind of trust that makes buyers comfortable putting down six figures? These uncertainties form the shadow side of its bold debut. Microstory? The conversation surrounding the Yangwang U9 2024 increasingly mirrors larger debates about the direction of the automotive industry itself. Is the future defined by incremental evolution, or by revolutionary leaps that force the rest of the field to adapt? This supercar embodies the latter argument. The Yangwang U9 2024 therefore becomes more than a machine. It becomes a test case for how new players can reset expectations and redefine prestige. And that naturally brings us to the final dimension. What impact will it leave behind? And what legacy could it establish for the years ahead? The Yangwang U9 2024 arrives at this point in our journey not only as a car, but as a question mark hanging over the entire supercar world. What does it mean when a newcomer executes with this much boldness? And how do traditional makers respond to a reality where prestige is suddenly contested? Microstory, the Yangwang U9 2024 forces collectors to weigh value in new ways. Do you buy based on heritage? Or do you chase raw innovation? This mental tug-of-war mirrors a broader generational split, with younger buyers more likely to prize immediate capability over stories from the past, which positions the car as a generational wedge in how we think about automotive greatness. Context digest. In markets where legacy still holds enormous sway, the Yangwang U9 2024 becomes a litmus test. If it sells, it signals that buyers are willing to overlook the absence of tradition in exchange for futuristic promise. If it struggles, it reinforces the old guard's belief that prestige cannot be manufactured overnight. Microstory. The legacy conversation extends beyond buyers. Track day enthusiasts and engineers alike are asking whether the Yangwang U9 2024 will carve its reputation through actual on-road experience rather than flashy debuts. The truth will be written not in unveilings but in miles driven and times recorded, and those data points will either cement or undercut its claims. Reflection bridge. Here lies the real drama, not whether it's fast, but whether it can endure the test of time. Context digest. Consider the broader industry stakes. By launching the Yangwang U9 2024, the makers have drawn a direct challenge to markets long dominated by others. Success would embolden more such efforts, potentially leading to a wave of high-performance EVs from regions once dismissed, while failure would provide easy ammunition to critics who argue heritage is irreplaceable. Microstory. Owners of the Yangwang U9 2024 already find themselves in the spotlight. Driving one makes a statement at car meets, track events, or even in casual conversation, sometimes admiration, sometimes skepticism, but always attention, proving that beyond numbers, the car has achieved cultural visibility, which is itself a form of value. Micro-story. The ripple effect is global. Suppliers, designers, and battery researchers all recognize that the Yangwang U9 2024 changes the conversation about what's possible when you merge national ambition with cutting-edge technology. It serves as a beacon for future projects, a reminder that barriers to entry and performance are not as immovable as once thought. Context digest. Yet the impact isn't confined to the supercar tier. By investing heavily in developing the Yangwang U9 2024, lessons about battery cooling, software optimization, and power delivery inevitably cascade down to more affordable vehicles, ensuring that its influence extends beyond the handful of people who will ever drive it. Reflection bridge. This is how Halo cars work. They elevate the entire ecosystem. Micro-story. Looking forward, the Yangwang U9 2024 represents a moment in which the definition of prestige began to shift, away from purely geographic or historic centers and toward whoever can best merge technology with desire. Future generations may look back at this machine as the spark that normalized the idea of performance. EVs from unexpected places. Micro-story. Ultimately, the Yangwang U9 2024 is less about beating rivals in a drag race and more about rewriting the narrative of who gets to sit at the supercar table. It proves that with enough ambition, even new players can command global attention, and that alone secures its place in history. Which brings us full circle. We started with spectacle, examined the mechanics, and followed the ripple effects. And now we see how the Yangwang U9 2024 isn't just a car, but a marker for change. The legacy it leaves will be measured not only in seconds, but in perceptions shifted. The Yangwang U9 2024 is best understood as a layered statement. On the surface, it dazzles with speed and spectacle, but underneath it challenges old assumptions about who can build, sell, and inspire with a supercar. Within the first 30 words, we must acknowledge that the Yangwang U9 2024 is both an electric machine and a cultural signal. For US viewers, the ownership reality is nuanced. Purchasing such a vehicle means betting on a service network that has yet to prove itself in North America, committing to a brand identity still in its infancy, and embracing a product that dares to jump straight into rarefied six-figure territory without the crutch of heritage. Yet that same gamble is precisely what makes it attractive to a certain type of buyer, one who craves being at the edge of what's new rather than sheltered by the comfort of what's known. In market terms, the Yangwang U9 2024 represents a wedge driven into the global performance hierarchy. If it delivers consistently, it pressures other makers to reconsider how they price, innovate, and position their flagship models. If it falters, it will still be remembered as a milestone attempt that tested boundaries. For enthusiasts in the US, it forces the question of whether prestige is defined by history alone, or whether it can be earned quickly through undeniable engineering and unforgettable presentation. The legacy of the Yangwang U9 2024 could extend far beyond the handful of units it sells. Its suspension tricks, software-driven handling, and sheer audacity will filter into more accessible vehicles, altering expectations across entire lineups and shaping what average buyers will one day experience. It also stands as a blueprint, a reminder that Halo products don't need decades of narrative behind them to matter. They simply need the courage to claim space at the table and the execution to make people take notice. So as the curtain falls on this story, the Yangwang U9 2024 leaves us with a lasting thought. In the rapidly changing landscape of performance and prestige, legacy is no longer only inherited, it can also be created in an instant of daring vision, leaving echoes that ripple far beyond its own wheels.